There's a beautiful day headed your way. Keep your head up, you'll be okay. A beautiful day waiting for you. Just open your eyes, you'll see it's true. Good times, sunshine, gonna be here in no time now. Bad times, gray skies, push them all away, turn them upside down. You're gonna break new ground, turn everything around. You're gonna live your life. There's a beautiful day headed your way. Keep your head up, you'll be okay. Beautiful day waiting for you. Just open your eyes, you'll see it's true. A beautiful day.
Alright, welcome back to the Booga Box live stream. It's Thursday, large project night. Large project Thursday. Trying to make sure everything's working right. I had a few, I know my Twitch stream had to change the codes on it today. As soon as I got ready to start, I got the little thing, let me know. So, just double checking all my settings here. Everything keeps changing every week, it seems like. Gotta keep up on it. Alright, I think everything's going well. So, we will be working on finishing up the chessboard tonight. Oop, I'm gonna have to do one other thing. The volume on my main computer was up and it had the sound coming through. It was almost going to leave me a double feedback if I didn't go shut it down, turn it down, whatever. So, tonight we'll finish this up. Basically just got the two last border rows to do on it. See if I can get most of it in the picture here. I think that's going to be pretty close to showing it all, maybe. Almost. The side camera probably, well, the front camera actually does a pretty good job too. This front one. But that's where we're at. I've got just the two more rows down here to do. Actually started into them. I had about half this row to finish up shortly before the stream. Probably could have left it and we could have got it done during the stream tonight. So we'll see how it goes. We'll just kind of start finishing it up. And you can kind of see, it looks like it gets darker up here in the main video. But actually, and it does get darker. Over the time that we worked on this, you know, the bronze is finally bronzing up from the super clean bronze. So I'm going to have to give it a cleaning before I get some pictures and try to even out the coloring to kind of match in a way. I kind of like the shading of it in ways, but for pictures I'm probably going to have to try to clean it up a little bit, see if I can get it more even, and then let it sit out and so it can evenly darken up. Because like I said, you can definitely, even though the light is brighter down here, this is bright and it does darken up as you move across to the top. So that's something I'll have to work on after I get it finished up. So I'm going to go ahead and dig on into it here. Fold it up, moving on up here, get me in angles. Excuse me, give me some rings ready. Since it's all black, I don't have to worry about cutting any out tonight. But I looked through my streams today, just wondering. I was like, when was the first stream when I first started streaming? And basically, it was 6 months ago. It's about the half a year we've been doing this now. I'm kind of surprised. I mean, I guess I kind of remember starting back then, but it's been a crazy 6 months with starting the stream, and so it's good to be here and see everybody over the last 6 months as we kind of grown and developed the stream a bit. And when I first started, it was actually more just doing the flag almost every day, the Chiefs flag that we were working on. And then I kind of got into a normal schedule of streaming 3 days a week. So we've been doing that a while. I should have looked up how long we've actually been doing the 3 days a week scheduled streams. Before that, it was just kind of streaming whenever I got a chance for the most part, working on that. And I was always videotaping it all. well, off and on. I guess it was when I started doing the Mahomes jersey. I really made sure I videotaped everything then. So, but this will be the last day on the chessboard, and then I'll have to start working on finishing up my designs for the chess pieces. But for now, for this board, I've got the weighted metal chess piece set that I bought for it, that I'm going to use for it for now. Like I said, I've got a few of my pieces designed, and I just have to make a bunch of the pawns, etc. But once I get that done, I'll kind of show them. I'm probably not going to do them on the stream because it's a lot of, trial error trying to find out what I like, what I don't like. I've made 2 pieces that I just did not care for, and so I was like, I'm going to have to redesign these, trying to keep them all somewhat similar. So next week we will start in on our next large project, a larger inlay. It's not going to be a whole lot of colors. It's not going to be a portrait inlay, but you'll see it started next week. Hopefully I'll have actually a little bit started before we come into the stream, so we're not starting out with nothing. But I was figuring it up today. This is about 18 hours by the time we're done. If we get in an hour tonight on it or so to finish it up, we'll have about 18 hours, maybe just a little bit over 18 hours into this. It actually has, I can only remember this because it's 4,560 rings when we're done. The next thing I'll have to get is a couple more of the leather. Well, I'm not even sure if they still have them. I'll have to go check. TRL used to have these leather bracelets, and they were the perfect size. I use them on my other checkerboards that I've got, and they were perfect size. When I roll this up, I can put those straps around it, button them down, keeps it from unrolling on me. They come in quite handy. I do have some, but I don't have 2. I'm figuring black ones. I think I've already used the black ones that I had. I've got the odd colors left. At one point I only had 1 of each, and I bought a few extra when I did the other checkerboards because they fit perfect around it. So I'll have to get me 2 of those if they still have it. If not, I'll have to figure out some other way of holding it all rolled up. And currently for the pieces, though, I think I'm just going to leave them in the box that I bought them in. I mean, it's just kind of a plastic insert with foam on it to keep them safe. I don't necessarily want to put them in a bag where they can kind of rub against each other and get all scratched up, and the silver will become more dull. So, but for the pieces that I make, I'm unsure of how I will do those yet either, but we'll figure it out. With the checkerboards, I made the small checkers. I just made like a dice bag style bag for them, and they can just all fit in that. We'll see how that goes, but I'll be, in a way, glad to get this done. It's definitely taken a lot longer than I wanted it to, and I could have gotten it done, obviously, a lot quicker. But I had so much other stuff that I've been working on. I'd just like pull it out for the stream, put it up there for a good month or so at one point, where I really only worked on it during the stream. And then in the last few weeks I've had some more time to get in on it and get it all finished up so we can get on to the next inlay. Now the next inlay, I think, this only had what did I just say, 4,560 rings in it. The next inlay is going to be, I don't have the paper here, but just around 20,000 rings in it. It'll be a European 4-in-1 style weave using 1/4-inch rings. And I don't necessarily want to say what the layout's going to be yet. I think y'all will be able to figure it out after just a little bit, if not before, kind of. I'm sure you'll probably start kind of getting the idea if you happen to drop in and check it out, anything. But I'm looking forward to kind of getting into it because I've been kind of putting it off. I was actually putting off doing another one because they were out of rings. colors that I needed. At one point they were only out of one color. When I finally got a notice that they'd gotten the color in, I went to go make my order, and yeah, they were out of 3 of the colors. Now they got into 1, but now they're out of 3 of them that I need. So I'm was at a standstill on that, so I had to kind of go through. I've got basically 7, if you want to call it, there's 9 actual inlays, more inlays I need to do to finish up the one. I'm doing them in parts. But I have 7 others ready to go, and 4 of them I couldn't do at all because of the colors that are out of stock. So I had to go through and pick one. Now this one, like I said, will be a lot more rings and will take many more hours, but I'm sure I will get more time in on it on the side. And you'll see why once we get into it. Let me check, see if everything's going well tonight. Yeah. Seems to be, it looks like the streams are all working. I went to start the Twitch and had a message saying that if you used your code for your streaming service, it needed to be changed and updated before we could stream again. So I had to throw that in there. I was unsure if it was going to work tonight, but I believe it's working. At least I have viewers, and it's saying I have a time on it running, so it must be working. Yeah, we just got this row and 1 more row, and then this will be done. And we should get it done well before the stream ends tonight, so we probably will end a little early, but once I do get done, I'm going to get the pieces out and get it fully set up and kind of give it a perusal and all that good stuff. And like I said, then I'll give it a good cleaning and have to set it up somewhere and get some pictures of it. At least for the time being. I was going to wait till I got the pieces done, but I'm not sure how long those are going to take. The actual pieces I've been working on for a while. Just because I'll work, a little bit here, a little bit there to get the pieces going, and then I'll put them off for a while. Last time I've actually worked on them was probably a good 6 months ago. But I have been working on it for a couple years. But again, if I sat down and just stuck to it, I'm sure I could get them done a lot quicker and get to a place where I like. But orders, events, and just doing the stream kind of takes away from extra time for that. And like I said, I don't necessarily want to do the R&D on the stream per se, just because it could be a lot of hours that nothing actually gets accomplished. That's when you're coming and trying new things. Sometimes it doesn't work, and it can take a while. I've done some things that I was actually chatting with the wife. I don't know if I mentioned this the other night or not, but I was chatting with the wife over the weekend, I think it was, and we were talking about sometimes I can get a lot accomplished where I feel like I'm doing a lot of things that are cool and neat and getting them done. But then, other days when you're working with something new, trying to figure out ring sizes and stuff, you could spend, a couple hours a day for a week. And basically, you're spending all that time working, but getting nothing done. And those days, you're like, those are the bummer days, It's like, I just spent like 10 hours this week trying to come up with this design. And it's just nothing ever worked. And so you don't necessarily waste that time. I mean, you're figuring out ways that things don't work. And like I always say, the more stuff I do that way, the more I actually learn, I'll learn what certain rings will do in certain situations, and I don't always go online and look up, tutorials, etc. Like I said, I don't really like using tutorials all that much. I buy them after I've kind of figured out the piece, if it's somebody's piece that they've made, just so I like to support other chain mailers and whatnot before I sell any of those pieces. I'd rather make sure I bought the tutorial, even though I've already figured it out. So, and sometimes I could have there was one tutorial that I spent probably about a good 6-8 hours on figuring out proper ring sizes and blah blah blah, and if I would have just bought the tutorial, I could have been done with it quickly. It was about a 2-hour project to do, and I spent a lot more hours trying to figure it out. And then other times I thought I figured it out for the most part, but then when I got the tutorial and realized they were using totally different ring sizes than I was, but what I produced was pretty much the same thing, kind of. Sometimes it might be a little different in sizing, but, you know, like I said, I always learn more from trial error than just doing, so I have more fun in that in ways. Like I said, it takes more time, but and sometimes I'll come across something that, you know, I hadn't done before, and it makes it fun. So, did I get a good share on my own tonight? I was wanting to share this to my personal page tonight, since it's going to be the last night of this one, and I haven't actually shared one to my personal profile in a while. I don't know if it actually took over there or not. Unsure. Let me give a quick check here. Gotta put this mouse up on my shirt. I need to get me a small mouse pad for this stupid mouse. It doesn't like my clear topper here. It doesn't want to work very well on it, so I have to put it on my shirt, on my belly, on my shoulder or something to get it to change and move for me. Alright, come on, move up there a little bit more. I used to have a bunch of little foam ones, but I haven't used those in a long time. I use a marble mouse for my stuff anymore, so I don't think it actually did share to my page, did it? No, yeah, I guess it did. Okay. I just want to double check, make sure it was over there. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And being on the business page there, I have to make sure I flip over my profile before I want to share it, or I just end up sharing it to my page that has already shared it. Oh, internet, you drive me nuts sometimes. It's a great resource, but I tell you what, some days it just drives me bonkers. But other than that, from last night, really didn't do a whole lot. I finished up a few more of the ear cuff hanger, chandelier, ears, whatever you want to call them, last night. Did a few more. Finished up the heart one. And then today, pretty much just kind of did a little straightening up in the places. I need to do a major reorganization to the other half of, actually 2/3 of the basement needs a good straightening up, and kind of was going through things for several hours today, looking at stuff, kind of going, okay, trying to get a plan together for the most part to get it going, because I know it's gonna be a little bit of a project. And probably take a couple days because I'll be moving stuff around. I'm going to still leave open so I can still do my streams and stuff, but I need to be able to, with Christmas getting, I mean, we still got a little bit till then, but Christmas stuff's normally pretty much buried most times anyway, and it's extremely buried right now because all the extra tools and stuff are all in the way, so figured, you know, well, and then I need a place to store Christmas presents and all that too, so nobody gets into them. So I've got to do some cleaning, get that ready. I think we got one more mowing done, ready for the year before we won't have to worry about mowing anymore. Really, the last, I think it was about 2.5 weeks ago last time we mowed, because it is slowing down quite a bit now. But I think I'm going to go out there and we're going to get one more mowing done before the season ends and before the fall leaf fun begins. Talk about that, where we end up with, you know, 50-60 bags of freaking leaves at the end of the year. And that's if I don't even get them all done. I mean, that's what we normally do, and then there's still a lot left till spring and do some more. Last several years we've had some Februaries, but I don't really have anywhere to store them after that, because our leaf drop-off area doesn't open back up until mid-March, I believe. So there's always a little bit of time where we really can't do much anyway, because there's nowhere to take it all. brush and leaf drop-off area. Normally, every Saturday, we normally make a trip up there to drop off what we accumulated during the week. I guess we could take it up there more often, but then they start charging a lot, you know, compared to Saturdays are free if you're a resident of the city. So it's just easier to do that now. There's normally a lot of people there on that day because of that, but, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. No easy way of getting rid of leaves unless, I know the wife's parents, they live in a cul-de-sac and behind them is nothing but woods, so they can just chuck their stuff over into the woods. But nowhere I can do that. I don't think the people behind me or beside me would like it too much if I chucked all my leaves into their yard. And I need to still figure out actually what day. What is the Wednesday? Third Wednesday of this month will be the 19th. I plan on doing another giveaway on that 19th day. On that Wednesday. Again, we'll probably just go with one or two smaller things. Might be a little bracelet, might be a keychain, you know. Might be a couple small things in one giveaway type thing, but kind of want to do another one, like I said, try to get more people to show up, so make sure you share, like, and all that stuff for the Booga box. Get it out there. The more the merrier. Like I said, I'd like to get up to 500 followers, likes, and stuff by the... Well, I don't really have a time limit, but when we do get to the 500, we're going to do a bigger giveaway. Like I said, I've got a couple other bigger things that I thought would be nice to give away that I think some people might be surprised of, but I'm also hoping to actually go that route to get to the 500 first, and then I might make a requirement where I have so many viewers that night, because, you know, I don't want it to be just one or two people in there per se, just, you know, if it's going to be a nice large item like that. So make sure you share us out there, get the likes, check us out on YouTube and Twitch. We stream there every 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesdays, Thursdays. But I have said a couple times, I'm just still putting reminders out there. The 18th, the Monday the 18th, we won't be streaming. We're going to do a Tuesday streaming that week instead. I have a band event that night, so... And then by then, Tuesday night practices are over with, so I won't have to worry about doing those. Though I haven't, you know, I've been wanting to, but they've had actually a couple rained out Tuesday nights. One night they couldn't do a practice because they didn't paint the field for them. Because right now the band has to use the outfield of the baseball field to do their practicing on Tuesday nights. Because the main field is now soccer games on Tuesdays, I guess. I guess that's one of the only downfalls about building this new stadium. It's great to have, it's nice to see, but now there's more events going on there, so now band has to move again. It kind of sucks in a way, but, you know, I mean, back in my day at the school, we had a band field. And it was not quite a full 100 yards. I think we were probably about 60 yards. So we used to paint it up and practice on that all the time. Then it became a softball field years ago, so the band had to use the football field, but most of the time, you know, they could work around it. Now they have even more stuff going on at the school, so band is always the last to get anything. Sports get it first. I guess in a way I understand, but it still sucks when you're a band person. I mean, I still like my sports, you know, but... Alright, almost done with this first row here. How far are we in? About 23 minutes, I think? Yeah, 24 minutes, so... We'll definitely finish this other half and this other row up within the hour. Could have left more, I guess. I just wanted to play it safe, because I was like, I sure don't want to get into a stream and not actually be able to finish it up tonight. Because we've been working on it long enough. At least a couple, probably at least 8 weeks. When I'm only getting about 2-3 hours in a stream, or well, on a stream night we only get only about an hour's worth of work done during an hour and a half stream. If I don't end early and not working on it outside of the stream much, definitely taking a lot longer. But I'll be glad to have this done. It's been one I've been wanting to do for a while anyway. In case you haven't known, this is bronze and bright aluminum that I'm using with black anodized border. Anodized aluminum for the border. So it's definitely got quite a bit more weight than my past boards, because all those were all anodized aluminum. But I had fun. All these, other than the black aluminum, obviously. The rest of these rings I coiled and cut myself. And I've got some videos out there that shows when I've done some coiling and cutting. Not of these particular rings. I don't think I streamed those. I'm not even sure if I videotaped them when I was doing these, but roughly it's got probably 3-ish pounds in just bronze. Because I coiled up 4.5-ish pounds, and I've still got quite a bit left. I wanted to make sure I had enough, so I coiled up more than I probably needed, but I'll eventually use those rings for something also. So I've got several more. I got a necklace and a couple bracelets that I want to do. In weaves I have done before, but I want to use some different clasps and stuff that I've got now with the chain, or the cuffs, the cuff locks, the cuff links, clasps. Yeah, there we go. Cuff link clasps. Which camera are we on now? Up here, I guess. But I've got a couple bracelets and necklaces I want to do with this. I'm thinking about doing a kind of like a his and hers, where they can be locked together, but they're on their own separate necklaces. A beefier one for a man, and a smaller, thinner one for the woman. And if custom made, I could do them both the same too. But and then I want to do some of the necklaces where they have the it goes through and pulls down, and you have the dangle part, and this kind of holds on to the necklace part. It can be adjusted however you like it. And I've got a few ideas I've been wanting to do with those cuffs, lobster cuffs. Yeah, that ring's got something wrong with it. I don't like it. Off you go into the never-ending world of bad rings, to one day show back up in the junk mail. Like I said, I've kept all my junk rings. I'm gonna make a junk mail piece. I don't think it is something that they used to do. I'm not sure, but I imagine this is just a piece of. It's gonna have clusters of different stuff, as if you were finding broken down pieces of armor, and you put it together from broken pieces. Kind of how I imagine it looking. One day it will show back up. I have quite a bit in there now. I mean, I normally take the ones that are broken and totally cut, but the scuffed up ones, ones that aren't quite totally round, and stuff like that, I'm gonna put in. I probably need to move my camera up just a bit, looking at the screen now. Moving it everywhere. Hopefully that'll work all right. Again, when I'm not streaming. Is that another bad ring? Yeah, I didn't notice that when I put it in. Sorry, I had to pull a little closer to double check it. I have a few of these here recently on my black ones. You'll see that they're, I don't know how close I can get or if that's even visible. in the screen that's got a little extra cut in it. This last bag that I've gotten, yeah, that's a little too close for that one. Maybe I can just do this one if you look in the other screen, maybe. But yeah, it's got a little cut in near the cuts, like it went into the cutter and somebody pulled it back and it didn't quite go back into the same line. Had 4 or 5 of them so far out of this new bag like that. Not all of them are, but that's why I'm kind of double checking them. Make sure I get any of those pulled out. They drive me bonkers. Alright, back up here. Normally I can see them because they're right on the open side, but sometimes they're just past on the back side of where I'm opening. You don't quite notice them until I get them closed and they move around. Most time though I can feel it too whenever I come in to make sure I got a good closure. That's when I'll see it and have to yank it back out real quick. 1, 2, 3. So, what are we at here? 30 minutes in, so in under 30 minutes we will be finally done with the beast. Definitely a lot heavier. Every time I roll it up, I'm like, man, this is just a lot heavier than my past boards that I'd done. Which is kind of, I expected it, but in a way you don't expect it. I'll have to, I don't know, I guess I could pull out the scale. I don't know if I'll be able to actually get a good weight on this or not, because I don't know if it'll want to fall over the sides too much. I might have to get out something that will hold it up and zero out the scale and then put it on there. I don't know, maybe we'll give it a try and see, since we'll have a little bit of time after the stream tonight, or after I get done with this before we end the stream tonight. So I should have put that. Let me grab a drink here real quick. Check in. I'm at 0%. Oh man, I left my drink all the way over there tonight. Really? Hey, I want to do that. But when I put it on the corner, I've dumped my drink twice now in the last month. Sitting there on the corner of my desk. But I like putting it there normally just because if it does spill, luckily I haven't pried out anything because it's not around electronics. Other than when a carbonated drink has shock to it, it likes to go every which way. There's a story I actually told my crunching team years ago, probably about 10 years ago now. And it was actually Marble, the cat that's down here with me most days. She used to roam the rest of the house before she came down here. The other cats were intimidating her all the time, so we had to separate them. But before that, before the other cats came along, she was down in the laundry room one day. I was in there doing laundry, and in our laundry room, it's in the basement, but it's the only part of the basement that doesn't have a finished ceiling. The rest of it have all finished ceiling. So in there, you just got the open rafters, and there's a shelf above the washer and dryer, enough room where she can then jump up into the rafter. And so, I mean, this was before we were able to. Oh, they had these folding doors on our laundry room down here, which were kind of a pain because the cats could always figure out how to open them. And so I found a decent lock I could put on those doors to keep it from opening. But I was in there anyway. She came running in there, and she knew exactly where she wanted to go. And normally they'll come in and meow at me and jump up on the washer dryer, and I'm like, no, you don't need up in the rafter, blah blah blah. But she came running in that day, and she was on a mission. She was like, I am getting into the rafter, and you're not stopping me. So she come running in there, right on top of the dryer, straight up onto the shelf, and she tried to use the we had a big giant, I don't know, it does like 60-70 loads of laundry soap. It was probably 3/4 full, so it's still pretty heavy, which it did surprise me when it happened. But she used it as a launch platform to get up into the rafter, and it ended up sliding out from under her. She missed the rafter. It fell off the shelf on top of the washer, but it hit perfectly flat as it would sit, but with such force that it blew the cap off, and there was a literal, just a volcano of laundry soap that come just spraying out the top of this thing. I mean, it drenched the ceilings. It was dripping off the rafters. I mean, if it would have been, it looked like a killing scene almost, just with all this dripping blue laundry liquid. You know, if it was red, it would have looked awful. But you know, it was just such a mess, and she got covered in it. And I tried to clean her off a little bit. We had to take her up to the vet and get her to. I was not going to attempt to try to give her a bath. Well, she was one of them that we never got used to as a kitten getting a bath, so it was like she'll just tear us up. So we called up to the vet and it's like, can we bring her cat up? We had this incident with laundry soap, and she's just drenched in laundry soap because it was dripping off her, the ceiling, the shelf, boy. And if you go in there now, you'll still see little, not stains, I guess, in a way. Where you know, I wiped everything down the best I could, but it took me several days to get everything in that room cleaned up because it literally just covered everything in there. Because when I got done getting the soap lid back on, it had popped off and everything. Like I said, it was about 3/4 full then. By the time I was done and seen it, there's about 1/4 left. So more than half of what was in there. It was, like I said, perfect hit that just made it shoot straight up out of it. It was craziest thing. I mean, I've dropped the laundry soap before. I've made a mess before. But this was the worst mess I'd ever seen with it. And like, just the perfect way it hit, I think, is what did it. Because when I drop them sideways and stuff, you might crack it and it starts leaking out. You might get some that spurts out a little bit. But I mean, this just gushed out like a volcano just erupted. It was just... And, I mean, from the top of the washing machine to the rafters was a good 4 or 5 feet. And, you know, that's where most of it went. It just shot straight up like it was almost carbonated. It was just the craziest thing. Just dripping down everywhere. I mean, I did get some on myself because I was in the laundry room working with clothes. Which then I had to rewash the clothes because they were covered in soap afterwards. But, yeah, it was the craziest soap incident I've ever seen. And she wasn't too happy that she was covered in stuff because I had to try to get as much as I could off her as quickly as I could because, you know, she's a cat, she wants to lick at it. And I was like, you don't need to be licking all the laundry soap. So I was trying to get it off of her the most I could and got, you know, wiped off it the best I could, but then I just kind of loaded her up pretty quick. Had the wife call up to the vet and say we're on our way with the cat, and she told them the situation so that they were kind of ready by the time I got there and knew she was coming, covered in soap. So I just didn't want her to get all sick by trying to clean herself off with all this stuff. But the vets they were cool with it. They gave her up a quick bath, got all the soap out of her. She came home, like I said, very unhappy for a few days with me, but you can only blame yourself, cat. You know, that was all your fault. That was all your doing. It's very vivid, even though it was years ago. It was just very vivid in my mind, and I will never forget that day just because of just watching. Because when she ran in and it flipped and it hit, it spurted. I was trying to catch it, but then when it, you know, if I wouldn't have tried to catch it, it wouldn't have hit flat the way it fell off there. And but I mean, I was kind of far away from it, so I don't even. That's the only part I don't remember. If I actually even touched the bottle before it hit, I'm unsure. All I know is that it hit and made a mess. Because I was actually on the more towards the outside of the room, towards the door, because I was messing with the dryer at the time. And it hit, you know, over on top of the washing machine. And so once it started spraying up, I just backed out of the room and watched it, and then just for about 20 seconds, 30 seconds, just sitting there in amazement watching all this stuff going, what am I going to do? What's the next step? I have, you know, a half gallon or more dripping laundry detergent from the rafters, and I mean, the room's not huge, But there, you know, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 rafters that got covered on both sides, and probably minimum of 2 to 3 feet of each rafter was covered and dripping. So I mean, it was just dripping everywhere. It was the craziest mess ever. And, you know, I thought that would have stopped her, but then it was a few weeks later she wanted to come back in there. Now, I've caught her every other time but once, but now she goes slower. I will say that. Other than, well, she hadn't done the last couple of years because she's been on this side of the basement and not over there, so. Plus, we now leave that half the basement closed up more because that's where I keep all my finalized projects, all my chainmail things that are done and completed. And I don't want them climbing all over it, getting it all hairy, so that's where I normally keep most of my equipment for events and stuff like that, so they just don't go over there anymore anyway. Other than on occasion, one of them will sneak in when you try to get in there. Cats are some little sneaky little farts. But now they're also old, so though Marvel, she still likes to climb and get into things. All the rest of the cats are pretty much mellowed out for the most part on that. They're less likely to go doing that. I mean, our oldest one, she gets over there on occasion just because she's older, but she definitely doesn't jump up on things. She's old, has arthritis, she has a hard enough time getting up onto just a normal chair, so she just likes to roam around. But that's our oldest cat now, Sugar Baby. She's 17-ish, almost 18-ish, somewhere between 17 and 18 years old now. And then our next oldest is Marble, and she's about a year and a half-ish younger. So she's roughly 15 to 16. Though I swear sometimes since she's come down here, she's actually gotten more spirit into her for some reason or another. She was getting old, she wasn't doing a whole lot, had this big old fat belly, and now that she's kind of an outside-inside cat, she got like rejuvenated with energy. She lost a lot of weight, but healthy weight now. Not like she got thin or anything, but healthy weight, and started chasing more things and catching moles. And our big thing here lately has been grasshoppers galore. Every night here in the past month, she's bringing me in a grasshopper, at least one grasshopper a night, if not multitudes of them. But she's getting up there. And then Buzz, we think he's about the same age as Marble, roughly. He's the cat that we kind of took in from the neighbors that kind of kicked him out when they bought a small little rat dog. And they stopped feeding him, and so we kind of took him in. He has had all kinds of health issues ever since then, but we took him in, so we don't know exactly how old he is, but he's getting up there. And then the two younger cats that the kids have, I think they're running up on 9 years old now, because it was actually Boomer's mom had Boomer, and I think it was 2 years later. Again, this was the neighbor's cat. And they just kind of let it sit outside and never fed, so she come over here to eat, but they had never gotten her fixed, so she had a couple litters that we helped take care of, and we eventually got her fixed too, even though she wasn't our cat. But it was like, you know, we can't be doing all these litters. But yeah, she had a couple others, and the two other kids, they were like they wanted to keep one, so. But they're now, like I said, they're at least 8, 9 years old. I know if I went back through my Facebook feed, I could figure out exactly how old they were because I took pictures of them as they were growing. So our youngest cat in the house is roughly 9-ish years old. They're all getting up there in their ages. About like me. Turned that half century here just a few days ago. There's the little Mimi that I found. I'm 21 and with 29 years experience. Get a quick look around here again. Yeah, no 0% on my drop frame, so that's good. Looks like everything's staying in the green tonight again. I was actually a little worried about that because as soon as I started getting the computer set up for my stream tonight, the video card crashed on me. And normally when it does, it recovers. It gives you a little warning sign. Your video driver has crashed, has been restarted. And it did all that, said all that to me, but there was actually no pictures or anything, so I had to refresh each page that I already had open, pre-opened for doing the streams. And I was like, hopefully that's not going to interfere, because everything was kind of lagging for a few. But then I shut down the browser and opened back up the browsers, and everything seemed to be okay without restarting the computer. So I was like, well, hopefully everything will work tonight. I was running out of time. Glad I didn't restart the computer, because then I probably would have been late to the stream with the Twitch changing my streaming key, which Facebook does to me all the time, seems like, anyway. Yeah, I still hate that I have to open up the advanced every time to get into the key to make sure it's the right key, because if I don't hit advanced when I go to try to stream, it won't stream to Facebook, because the key isn't a persistent key when you don't hit the advanced. I do miss the old way they used to do their Facebook. There are parts of the new that I do like, about like every time they make an update. Parts I like, and then other parts I hate. So, yeah, we're getting close here. Almost done. I was hoping I'd have a few more viewers tonight to see us in this, for the ones that had watched us a while doing this, but it is what it is. Like I said, I'm grateful for whoever shows up. It'd be nice to have more people that I could chat with, but also, if the more people I get chatting with, it will slow down the weaving process, because I'll be looking and commenting back. So it's one of those trade-offs. I want more people, but then I'd get less done. But I'd like to chat with people and have some fun. But if you watch us live, that's all good, and even if you still don't comment, I know I have some viewers on. I need to figure out how to open the Twitch instead of using the stream manager portion of it, because then I think it actually shows you who's available on your Twitch side. At least it does whenever I go watch somebody else's Twitch. You can find out who else is in the room. And I seem to always have 1 or 2 viewers in Twitch, so I do thank you, whoever's on Twitch watching all the time and never making a comment. I'm glad to still have you there, even if you don't make comments. And same kind of thing on YouTube, other than you still can't see who's there, but it'll say if you've got viewers. Well, tonight I don't have any YouTube viewers, but that's alright. Like I said, people got other things to do this time of the year. I'm hoping that maybe the streams will pick up during the winter time, maybe a little bit more. And, you know, but if not, I'm still going to continue streaming, probably. At first I was a little nervous about them, but now I'm kind of having fun with them. Sometimes I can jibber-jabber a little bit too much and talk about nonsense stuff or repeat myself. And that's what the wife says. You talk about the same thing again. I don't mean to necessarily, but, you know, I talk less about the same things when there's more people here, so that's part of the good thing about having people here, too. They can make me wander off into other subjects. I'm always trying to think, what should I talk about? What should I talk about? What happened? Well, I don't have an exciting life per se, so nothing really exciting to talk about. Let me get more up over here. I'm on my side camera now. But I will say also, when we start up next Thursday, my Thursday night streams will not have the extra boxes around anywhere. It'll be just one main camera view from the top down, so that I'm going to do another time lapse on this piece. So whenever I stream doing the next inlay, they won't have any of that. But hopefully on Mondays and Wednesdays, you'll start seeing my face. I'm working on trying to figure out an easy way to put a background behind me. Trying to figure out an easy pull down thing that I can use. And maybe readjust my 2 other side cameras, not my top camera. Though I am considering making a new mount that I have for my upper camera I like the way the one that I currently use that I printed up, but over time I'm like, you know what, if I change this and that, I might get a little more versatile out of it, because sometimes it wants to go a little crooked-ish on me, and I have to kind of tweak it, and no easy way to tweak it, so I thought about ways I can change up the design on it so I can more easily tweak it, and to give it a wider view for when I start doing the bigger things. But eventually this the inlays will start coming together. I'll have to figure out totally something else to do, because I'm probably going to have to put together 2 6-foot tables for it to be able to see everything flat, and it actually might have to go to 2 6-footers and maybe 2 2.5 wide 4-foot tables going long ways on the end, because after it's done, all said and done, I think it's going to be wider than 6 foot wide by a little bit. I don't know exactly how much yet. Again, this is all trial and error for doing such a big inlay thing that I'm planning. So let's see here. I've got just a few more rings, 3, and then it is done. We will be done. Here's number 1. Other than a cleaning, and then some pictures, obviously. But I have to figure out a way, like I said, to get some pictures of this, and at least using the metal chess pieces for now, until I can get the other ones built. All right. There she is. Let's go ahead and give it a roll out here. Give it kind of a decent enough stretching and leveled. Make sure my rings are almost going all the way, same way. Because I thought about coming through and putting the edge on here, like a Persian style in, that would tighten up the edges where the rings won't flop around, but then I won't be able to roll it up. So it's like, which way do I actually want to go with that? Let me go ahead and pull it down some here, see if we can get it into, I know it's going to be in that little screen for right now, but I guess if I went this way a little bit, maybe I could see more of it on the side camera. Trying to find the best position where you can kind of get a better view of it fully done. So when I start getting out the pieces here, I'm going to get a drink real quick. Where are we at? 52 minutes. So yeah, we'll get out the pieces, give it a quick showdown that way before we close up tonight. So yeah, you took my chair. He was over sitting in my desk chair. So let's go ahead and start pulling out some pieces here. Get them all set up on the board. Got the bishops, knights. I might go ahead and grab my cell phone, get a few quick pics of the board. I kind of have a crappy background here per se, but just so that I can kind of have one, get them out there a few till maybe this weekend I can get me some pictures of it all. So I guess side camera is actually kind of having the best view right now, I think, of this. Me, if can I manually, come here mouse, where you at? What is it? Camera 2. Oh, excuse me, yeah. Let's go ahead and transition over straight up to camera 2. I think it's given the best overall, other than with my screen. I need to set up some more scenes where it gets rid of my side boxes and all that when I want to do a full screen of just one thing. I think that's what I need to kind of get set up and going next. So I guess let's see here. Do that. Plus, let's go video capture device. Add existing. Is it capture 2 maybe? No, that looks like it's still the top. Let's minus that one. Add back in. Capture 3. Third one? Shouldn't be. No, the third one's that. Is it 1? Shouldn't be 1. What did I do so weirdness there? Yeah, I need to clean up my scenes and my sources a little bit more so I can do a little better when it comes to this kind of thing. Yeah. Other than... still a little off, but let's go ahead and transition over to it. It just moves those other things out of the way there so we can get a bigger view of the board for the most part, hopefully. I think I'm still a little bit, I don't know if I can adjust that camera maybe a little bit manually. Oh, let's see if I can do that. Which way do I need to go? This way? Yeah. If it'll stay there. Like I said, I have it on a... it wants to move back. That might be halfway decent. It likes to move back on me because it's on a... I got it hanging on a grid wall, and I've got the tripod's one of those bendable tripods, and I've got it wrapped around. Everything's all tight and neat down on it to keep it mostly in one position, so whenever I try to move it, it wants to tweak back to where it was. But a few more pieces here. This is a good old chessboard. These pieces are a little bit smaller, obviously actually kind of quite a bit smaller than my pawns take up. Probably at least another 1/4 inch round. So overall it's about a 1/2 inch bigger to 3/4 inch bigger for my pawns that I've made. Like I said, I've only made 2 of my pawns, so I've got many more pawns to make. Still, got the basic designs from my castles, the rooks, I guess what they call. I might make a little change to those. Bishops I kind of mostly have done also, but that is our chessboard. Actually, that top view is not too bad too if I opened it up to just being just that scene. Let me go ahead and transition to it. So I think it shows up okay. My little screen is not so big, but that's the chessboard. I think it looks pretty good myself. I'm happy with it. I think the bronze, once it darkens up, won't match these exactly, but I think it'll get fairly close. And the bright aluminum will stay pretty bright. It's not as bright as the silver plated here, but I definitely like it. I wonder why my live stream is not... I know it's only a little bit behind, but it seems like it's like not flipping now. Did it lock up? I can't tell if it's got a count going or not. On there it does, but on here I've already got all the pieces set up on it and it's still not showing it there, and I flipped to another camera view since that view. Let me see if I refresh this page. Maybe that is part of the problem. And it's only giving me the issue, not you all. I'm unsure. Yeah, maybe... no, nothing. Okay. Taking a while to refresh there. And then I gotta go play, so yeah, now it's showing it. And some movements, so... I'm just making weird movements just to make it look different and show the different things. I'll move you on out of here. You can't move yet, so we'll do that. And so it looks like I'm playing chess by myself. I have tried to, but it sucks playing by yourself, honestly. Because you know what strategy you're using one side, and you try to do another strategy. It's like, then you don't want to give up your own pieces because you're playing both sides. You know, maybe I should set up a little table where I can put this up, put a live camera on it, and then somebody can challenge me to a chess match over a live stream or a stream. where I'll show the move I made, and then you can come in and say what move you want to make. I'll move it on the video, and then I'll make my move. You come back, tell me what move you want to make, and it'd be different. I do miss playing chess. Used to play with a buddy of mine all the time. It was just for the fun of it, you know. And neither of us were, you know, all that great, but we had some good chess battles. It was me and a friend of mine, Seth. Known him for years and years and years. He now lives a little bit too far away. It's been years since I've actually been able to go visit him. But he used to play chess all the time, loved it. Had a good old grand time playing it. Don't get to play it much anymore. I don't think my kids were really never into it all that much. So, don't get much of a chance to play. I tried some of the computer times, but it's still not as fun as playing a person, especially in person. It's much funner to play in person. I played the computer before. That gets boring after a little bit. I never did time chess, though, either. We never did that. No, mostly, I mean, we were pretty good at it. Sometimes we take a little longer if we were really thinking about it. But, you know, when you're sitting around just kind of hanging out, chatting about other things, you know, sometimes moves could take a little longer than normal. So, we have gotten to our hour. Really not much else I can necessarily do tonight, I guess. Get another drink real quick. But, yeah, this has kind of been a closing up week for some things, and now that we're starting in on, I mean, Wednesdays are always a little different, but now we started working on purse frames on our Monday nights. Next Thursday we'll be starting a new inlay, so you'll definitely have to come check it out. We'll be changing some things up. Haven't gotten any more work done on the jelly cube yet, but it's definitely getting bigger. I mean, compared to my pieces here, you can see that it's getting pretty big. It's growing anyway. But yeah, check out our website too. We're slowly getting more and more stuff added to the website. You'll have to check it out. Start to add some more supplies if you're a chain mailer or the likes. I've got a lot more clasps I'm adding. I've got some extra findings and stuff going on in there. I'm probably going to put up some of these newer spikes that I've gotten, even though I've only got 3 colors of them. There's only 3 colors actually in this kind of coloring, like I was showing yesterday. They're not quite metallic chrome, but they're not matte either. And I've got them in purple, blue, and red, so I can find them in. But I'm going to start adding some of those. I've got the vacuum sealed colored clasps. I've got the handcuff clasps that I've added. So you definitely have to go check that out. I've got a few more tutorials that I've already added. I will be adding another one. I've got my Dreamcatcher tutorial that I'll be adding to that here pretty soon. And kits for that too, where you can pick your own colors for whatever color you want to have in your kit per row. There's 7 rows in there, and you can kind of pick what colors you want for your kit on that. And then I'm going to have a couple others, like a rainbow version. You can do a solid color version, or mix up the colors any way you want, for the most part. And if you ever find anything on my site that you want in specific colors, metals, whatever it is, you know, just message me, let me know. I'm more than happy to do whatever I can to get you what you want. That's always been my thing with the chainmail. It's like, I want to make everybody happy the best I can. So, and you know, most people that I deal with are pretty happy. So, you know, I haven't had anybody come back telling me that I'm stupid or whatever. Most people are happy whenever I contact them and make sure orders are correct and all that. And if you have bought anything and stuff, go to the website, go to the Facebook page, leave us some reviews on things that we've done, because it's been trying to get more and more reviews. You know, I hate sending out emails saying, hey, I know you bought this, can you go send me a review type thing. I don't like doing that, but you know, in a way I kind of have to promoting my own self. Like I said, it's always strange promoting my own self, especially right now with everything going, but kind of have to. I getting that more and more in my head, but it's still a very strange thing for me to do. So if you bought anything, come on, send us some reviews, send me some things. Hoping to add if you got pictures of things that you've done, kits that you bought, or even things that you bought for yourself. If you bought a necklace, put it on, get me a picture of it. I'll add it to the website. I want to add a gallery of pictures of people with my items, with kits, with bracelets, necklaces, lamps, whatever it is that you've gotten from me. Let me see some pictures of them. I mean, I get my own pictures, but I love getting pictures when I see people either building something from one of my tutorials, or they bought something and took a picture of it on them. I just love seeing those, because that's the best feeling, when you know the customer is happy with something that they got from you, and they're wearing it and they're happy with it. That's always a much better feeling than me just taking my own pictures. But anyway, hope everybody has had a good week so far. We're going to go ahead and start closing up tonight. I hope you all have a good weekend, because we won't be back till Monday. There might be some odd, quick live streams over the weekend, more than likely just to Facebook, so I can do some testing of a few other things that I've been wanting to do. It'll be late Saturday, early Sunday if I do those. So if you happen to see them, you can drop in, say hi, but they might only be there for a few minutes, and I probably will delete them afterwards if nothing really interesting happens, let's say. So, again, I want to thank everybody that's come by, watched us live, or you're watching later. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Give us likes, shares, comments, give us hearts, thumbs ups, wows, anything that gets us out there. Every one of those little things helps all the time, getting us out there. So, again, I hope you all have a great weekend, and we will see you on Monday. Take it easy.